I've spent many, many hours sitting where you are, attending a lot of these conferences, and I can tell you, other than the values and the teaching of my parents, what I have learned through this community has inspired and equipped me in ways that I could never have imagined possible. And I would imagine that if you were like me, attending this event, it's because you love your company and you love your people. And I will tell you that that is true for me, and it's true for our leaders within Freeman. We love our people. And what I'm going to share with you today is a story when we hurt the people we loved. And we did it unintentionally. And we did it at a time that we thought we were rocking and rolling and making a lot of progress toward a new opportunity. But I will tell you, it was tough and it was hard. And the good news is I think we've turned the corner, and hopefully by sharing my story, I will enable you to avoid a mistake that we made and hurt the ones that we love. So as Rand mentioned, we build brands. We bring people together in live experiences. We are in the business of connecting people in meaningful ways. Our purpose is built on the idea that we believe when people get together in a room like this, lives are changed. We know that when doctors meet for medical conventions, they learn how to save lives. Teachers learn how to teach better. People learn how to work together better. If the NFL draft was this weekend, families enjoyed time together. And so it is probably likely that you have bumped into our work along the way. And we are just so captivated by this idea that in this technologically driven world, the better we do to bring people together, the more effect we're going to have to make this world a better place. So just very briefly on our history, just to set some context, this is my grandfather, Buck Freeman, consummate entrepreneur. And what is important about Buck is that our family business was started in Iowa. My parents were both raised there. We have had those deep Midwest values embedded in our soul from our very beginning. And we are so grateful that that is from which we were able to build into an even more conscious value proposition that we'll talk about in a few minutes. He loved to entertain. He started the business by state fairs and doing the decorating down Main Street in small towns. Fairs, different things like that. He loved the idea when people were happy when they were together, and eventually moved into the convention business. He was very, very involved, as we are today, in making sure that we know what we're doing, that our leaders are very involved in our business, spend a lot of time with our clients. That's Buck in the dark hat, who's, I'm certain, telling somebody what they should have been doing instead of what they were doing. And then this is my grandparents, Buck and Alice, and this is what I remember the most about growing up. Our vacations, our weekends, a good deal of our time was spent with our extended family, which was the people of Freeman. So there was not any inkling in my mind that I could possibly work anywhere else than with the people that I love. So this is my dad in the cool horn rim glasses, and he joined the company. He was with Freeman. He's still our chairman. And my mom, my little sister, Chris, her husband, Joe Popolo, and I co-lead the company today. And as Rand said, I joined the business in 1985. So what I'd like to do is play this video that shows you a little bit of what we do, but really what makes us tick and why we love to do it. So with that, let's go ahead and roll the video.
Our world, it's a pretty remarkable place, filled with infinite possibilities and people driven by their deepest passions, people sharing smiles, stories, and for some, mere seconds. People just like you, but more importantly, people nothing like you. Because you are unique, you're one of a kind. What can we say? You're just you. And we believe in you. We believe in making moments, in making experiences that create lasting impressions, in making the impossible possible right before your eyes, even though you'd never see it coming. We believe in connecting dots, connecting worlds, connecting people to people in meaningful ways. And we do it by sparking conversations, by asking questions, by sketching, scrapping, and starting again, and not being afraid to color outside the lines. We don't want people to just see something. We want them to feel something, to taste it, to hear it, to experience it, and ultimately, remember it. Because we believe awesome should come standard, and our standards are pretty high. Sure, the world's a big place, but we place you at the center of it, because a crowd of millions is still an audience of one. Together, we make your experience thoughtful, we make it meaningful, but above all else, we make it personal. Freeman, make it personal.
Okay, so now we get to the story of how we hurt the people we loved. And this is a story that was born out of challenges and out of opportunity. We are in we just celebrated our 90th birthday, so we're in our 91st year. And we have considerable market share, and we realized that we were going to have some challenges with growing if we stayed in our lane, that we were not likely to experience our double-digit growth that we had been experiencing. And we also saw a huge opportunity because we had been kind of tipping our toe into some new areas of the business, and we hadn't really fully committed to go there. So out of this, we decided to embark on a new strategy. And I'm not going to go into all the details of that strategy, but we spent a lot of time, we put that strategy together ourselves, and we felt like we were in a great place to go after it. And the reason we thought that is because first we built the strategy with our teams. Secondly, as I mentioned, our leaders knew that we needed to do this, that we were at risk if we stayed still, and we had some opportunity to grow. At the time, we had just conducted an employee engagement survey, and we had a 92% rating in view of the positive future that we were going the right way, 91% in trust in leadership, which was really nice, and about an 87% of overall engagement. So we felt like our culture was ready, our people were ready, we had a great plan. So we started and we went, and we were successful. We had learned our lessons about acquiring companies that were aligned with values. We'd made some acquisitions in the past that we didn't do enough due diligence on that. So we were very mindful of the companies that we acquired. We were very mindful of the talent that we brought in. We knew we needed to get some new talent, and we were conscious in how we hired those people to make sure that they shared our values. We expanded into new geos, had new products, new services. We had a new service offering, a compelling offering for our clients. They told us so. They started to buy it. And we started to recognize a good deal of success. And so we felt like we had really figured out a way to get through our challenges and take care of this opportunity. And so anytime you go through this type of thing, you typically run into some friction because you're doing your business a little bit differently and things are fast and hard. And we felt friction, and then we felt sandpaper, and it was rough. And we all of a sudden started listening to our people, and we were hearing things like, "You people have no idea what we've done to get us to this place. Who do you think you are to tell us that we need to do our business differently?" And then we had the new folks saying, "You people have no clue what the future is. You are getting in our way, and we're not going to where we need to go." And then we had our tenured folks looking at leaders saying, "You people, we're the ones funding this thing. You're putting more and more pressure on us to perform. We don't even understand where we're going, and are we just chopped liver? All you talk about is this bright, shiny stuff over here, and we're the ones that are doing all the work." And then we started looking a little further, and we saw some pain in some of our tenured folks' minds and eyes, where they were saying, "Well, I thought I was going to be able to retire here, but I'm not quite sure I'm going to make it. I'm not sure I'm able to do what you're asking us to do. I want to be here, I want to work hard, you have my commitment, but I don't know if I'm going to make it." And what we saw was a lot of pain. And what we realized is that we had an awesome strategy, and we were achieving our strategy, but we had not prepared our culture for our success. We had taken for granted that this team of very hardworking, committed people were going to just be able to adapt and grow, and it was all going to be good. And shame on us, we did not ask the questions that we should have been asking to ensure that our people were prepared for our success. So I can go into a myriad of things that we did to start turning the ship the right way. But what I want to share in my last few minutes here is how we really leaned into the principles of conscious capitalism in order to get us back on track. First and foremost, we really leaned into our purpose. Our purpose is connecting people in meaningful ways. And what we realized is that we were worried about, or we were thinking about the connections of buyers and sellers and our clients with us, but we were not thinking about the meaningful connections within Freeman. We were not creating the experiences and the environment for our teams to connect in a way that showed that they were actually working towards the same goal. There wasn't a high level of trust. They didn't really understand it. And frankly, we didn't give them that opportunity. We just sort of said, everybody just go do your deal. And so we really leaned into figuring out how we could connect our people in meaningful ways so that they could help us achieve our purpose with our clients as well. The second thing we did is we leaned so hard into our values. And this was the biggest catalyst for change. We actually had a 2.5-day leadership session, and all we talked about were our values for 2.5 days with our leaders. And then we went out to all of our offices to talk about our values. Because what we were able to say is, you may not understand what these people do over here, and you may not be able to understand what these people do over here, but we are all acting from a place of our values. And once you understand that, and you believe that, and you trust that, and you realize that they're actually acting from a place of integrity, as you are, and they're acting from a place, or they want to act from a place of empathy, as you are, which are two of our values, then all of a sudden the trust was able to happen again. And we were able to get back to a place where we realized that we were on the same team, that we were, in fact, working towards our purpose, and we were finally able to deal with some of those operational challenges that just typically present themselves whenever you're going through something like this. And then the last part is just really around leadership. And it is hard when you realize that you've let your people down, and it's somewhat easy to justify, well, I was doing the right thing. We were trying to do the right thing. We were just growing. We were doing these investments. But when you really look into the heart of your people and you realize that you've made a mistake, it's a good time to ask for forgiveness, and it's a good time to ask your people to help you figure out how to make it better. And so what we've been spending a good deal of time doing the last couple of years is making a lot of eyeball-to-eyeball contact with our people. I would say we're not effectively sending out less email. Our people would say we're sending way too much email. But we are also trying to work much harder at not using corporate speak and not trying to get everybody to understand everything that we're doing, but to just align in our purpose and align in our values. So what I will tell you that for me personally, I've had the best couple years of my life because I've been able to just really get out and connect with our folks. We have the hardest working, we have several of them here in the room, and I just would like to praise them for a minute. They're just the hardest working, most fun, loyal, committed individuals that you could hope to work with. I will also share with you that we're not done. We have a tremendous amount of business transformation that we need to continue to go through, but I'm feeling a lot more comfortable that we have at least awoken to the fact that we need to be much more mindful of ensuring that we have as strong focus on our cultural strategy as we do on our operational and growth strategy. So that is my story, and I hope it's helpful. Thank you.